Hey, it's Augie Anderson, your Brevard, Florida realtor, coming to you with Beth Dodson from HomeZada. We are doing an amazing series that is HomeZada for the professional. Beth, how are you?
Fantastic, Augie. How are you?
I'm great. So today in episode 2 of our series, what are homeowners looking for to better manage their homes? What do they need to do to be better home managers? That's what we're going to be talking about. But before we get into that, just in case we got some newbies, why don't you share with us a little bit about what HomeZada is in a nutshell, and then what it is for the pros real quick.
Absolutely.
The Reader's Digest version.
Perfect. So HomeZada is a digital home management platform for the homeowners. You can access it using any device, meaning you have a tablet, laptop, or a phone, mobile phone, smartphone, and you can use the same system no matter what. And what that means is we give the people the ability to track a home inventory, a maintenance calendar, their projects, and then all their finances. So really, really important. Basically, what we're doing is trying to give them all the data about their personal properties, whether they have one or several, and help them make the best financial decisions and time decisions for their own personal life. Now, on the professional side, think of professional as a way of, HomeZada Professional, that is, as a way of either giving a gift to clients with your branding in the system so they can remember you after that initial transaction you're working with them on, or as a solution where you can enter in data on behalf of the client, then give it to them so they can continue managing it for themselves. And there's different use cases for both those scenarios.
Well, I think that's great. I'm going to tell everybody now that I am a HomeZada user. I have it on my personal residence, and we have it on our investment property as well. So I really see so many benefits for the professional, and I love that we're going to dive in a little deeper today. So you have told me you've done some surveys with different companies. What's the scoop on those surveys? Like, what information did you learn? What did you extract?
Would you mind if I shared with you some screens?
I would love for you. I love visuals. Okay, just let me.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to do this, and forgive me as I look at my second screen. So I might have to turn myself a bit.
That's
but
okay.
Can you see my screen?
I can.
Okay, so let's enlarge this a bit so we can see it from a PowerPoint type of view. So a couple things we did with our partners. So one of those partners was HGTV, and we performed a survey with them. We got very generic. We were a small portion of an overall survey with them. And what we did was we asked 4 very generic questions. Do you need a digital maintenance schedule? We were not talking specifically about HomeZada. Do you need a digital home inventory? Do you need tools to help you track the documents of your house and your projects for resale? Do you need digital remodel tracking? Because most people are either doing nothing in any of these capacities, or they are doing something on paper, or they are using kludgy systems that they put together, meaning they'll use an Excel spreadsheet over here, they'll use some sort of Dropbox over here, or they'll use all these different systems. And a lot of these individuals, as you can see here, the numbers are high. We take these 2 first categories, very important, somewhat important, and come to this larger number up top. So 58%, 64%, 78%, and 83% of the people, when asked this generic question, said, yes, I need these tools. These are big, big numbers.
Big.
Go ahead.
Big.
Big. And I'm going to tell you something else about these numbers that is so big. HGTV, when they performed this survey with us, had not seen numbers beyond 15% on the high side.
Wow.
That's how big these numbers are. They were stunned at the fact that the people resonated with this and they responded to it so emphatically. Now, here's something else to keep in mind. The lowest number, if you see that this light blue is slightly important, the light blue is not important at all. If you can see, these numbers are very small. 3% of people say they do not want a remodel tracking tool. 3%, that's it. So some people want tools to help them manage their home. So that's the first thing we looked at. I'm going to move on to another slide because I want to make sure that we talk about a multitude of surveys. But Augie, please feel free to interrupt me if you have any questions along the way as well.
I remember you bringing up AARP. I'm really eager to hear what you're found with that.
So we were given the opportunity to participate in a relationship with AARP through some programs that we participate in as a what we would consider a fintech company. So it's a tech term that people allowed us to fit in this fintech accelerator. And AARP is a large sponsor, and they endorsed us through this accelerator. And because of that, we built a really great relationship with AARP, and we're going to continue to build that relationship. And one of the things that we did with them is we conducted a survey, but we also conducted a focus group. This is the survey that we conducted, and these are the questions we asked. The first reaction when they saw a screenshot of HomeZada was extremely positive. All they did was see a screenshot. That's it. Then what we did was we showed them how you can use HomeZada, and we explained to them on a document with this screenshot the key major points on how you can use HomeZada. Just by reading that initial page, they said 62% HomeZada is extremely useful. It's very, very valuable.
Impressive.
Very impressive. And then as part of the survey, they were asked to give their feedback in written form. And some of the key phrases that repeated over and over and over again, whoops, excuse me, let me go back. Whoops, now we're going the wrong way. Was that it's an all-in-one place to manage your home. They love the fact that everything was all in one. We believe that consumers are getting app exhausted. They want one place to manage all the details of their home, which is what HomeZada provides. The other thing that we recognized is it was an original idea for a solution. It was very unique. So they were very impressed by that. And then the other thing that they loved and made comments frequently was it's organization made easy. Like organization, all in one in organization, where I think we're 1 and 2 in terms of the phrases that were used on a regular basis, which is why we believe they felt that it was extremely positive and extremely useful as a tool for them to help them manage their home. And those are the surveys we did. Would you like me to talk about the focus groups, or do you have any questions so far?
I don't have any questions because you hit it on the nail.
So, and these are what independent people are saying about HomeZada. They're not customers because we have our own customers. These are surveys performed by independent third parties, HGTV and AARP. So then we actually,
and they're biggies. They're not like they're nobodies.
Exactly. And so, and I do not have the sample size group, so I apologize for that. I don't have that, but AARP also performed a focus group. Now here's where it got really fun for us at HomeZada. Our team got to sit in on this focus group and listen to how people perceive the product, good, bad, and indifferent, where they found challenges, where they found it really great. And that also is extremely helpful to us, because if they had any challenges with using the system, we could actually make improvements. It's like perfect. But one of the things that we started recognizing, and I put this in order of the feature sets, as you can see inside the HomeZada application. And this is kind of the flow of HomeZada. How easy to take photos and videos for home inventory with HomeZada. So just take a step back. This focus group, we asked them to perform tasks each week as it related to HomeZada. They performed those tasks. 80% said it was very easy to take a home inventory with HomeZada. Remind you, we didn't tell them which device to use either. They could use whatever they wanted. And some people use the desktop, some people use the mobile, some people use their tablets. Then what happened was we asked them to rate the usefulness of the home maintenance. They said it was fabulous. They said, yes, we need maintenance tasks, because some of the participants were first-time homeowners. Some of them had been doing this a long time. In fact, one gentleman, he actually showed us behind him on his wall, he had this giant calendar and all these sticky notes for his life. He goes, this is how I take care of my house. This is how I take care of everything. Sticky notes. He goes, there's got to be a better way. The third thing that we looked at was home remodel projects. How useful is this? 90% of the people said, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I can now track the cost of my projects. I can track all my tasks and my projects. I can work with my contractor or my designer if I have them, or I can do it myself. Hugely, hugely positive, because I can stay on top of this. And then when it came to the financial portion of HomeZada, we asked them how valuable they thought that was. And they said extremely valuable. In fact, people like yourself were on the call. And what I mean by that is they owned multiple homes. And some of them were rental income, some of them were not. They said, I now understand the financial implications of my portfolio of homes and why it's important. I can see all this right inside HomeZada. And they loved it. So just to keep in mind, another thing that also transpired with this group at AARP, we did an initial introduction, and generally the individuals are not required to participate in the focus group. And generally, the AARP told me we usually see fallout, and then we also see fallout throughout the focus group. And I go, we do? Yes. 100% participation. People begged to want to participate, and 100% participation through the entire focus group.
Wow.
Proving that people's homes are extremely important to them, and they need better ways to manage them. The other thing that came out of this focus group was just a couple of key phrases I wanted to share with everybody. It's very intuitive. One of the things that Scott has kept saying is, he said it's so intuitive, I couldn't believe how they made a complex situation intuitive. Because let's face it, our homes are comprised of a lot of parts and pieces and a lot of different people to help us manage them. How do we make it easier? Mark felt that the ease of taking pictures was super easy. He actually used a camera rather than a digital camera, rather than a phone, as you can see here, and he uploaded them directly to HomeZada and then tagged them. And that is an option within inside HomeZada. Home finances, Letitia, she's the one that was managing multiple homes, and she was very impressed by actually being able to manage all the expenses. And then Stephanie really found value in the action steps of managing a project, because she was a new homeowner and she didn't quite understand, how do I engage with a contractor? How do I actually make the steps count? Because let's face it, when you have a project, there is a sequential order that we recommend you take with these projects. You don't want to install your appliances only to have them be pulled out again, to rip up your tile, to put your tile down, or whatever flooring you have, and then to put them back in. There is a risk of damage if you do that. So we wanted to make sure that we have the steps in the system at HomeZada for the homeowners. The homeowners were extremely excited about using HomeZada, and they continue to use it.
Excellent. So my question then, why is this information important for professionals to know?
I think it's very important for professionals to know, because I'm gonna stop sharing this and I'll come back to some more slides later. But one of the things I think is important for professionals to understand this is, I apologize, technical difficulties. One of the reasons I think this is important for people to know is professionals oftentimes think they know what it's like giving a gift or making recommendations to their clients moving forward. And they do. They have a lot of extremely valuable content and information they can provide to their customers. However, they don't always have information that can be actually useful. to help make it easier for homeowners to manage. HomeZada is one of those tools that can make it easier for professionals to re-engage with their customers. They can get their branding inside the system. They can make sure that they are touching base with their clients. One of the things that you and I talked about prior to this call is that if a reminder comes up for you as a real estate agent, you can actually engage with your customers. It gives you something to talk to them about throughout their homeowner life cycle that you can relate to, and they can relate to you as well. The other thing that it does is it gives our professionals the ability to be innovative. Let's face it, a lot of people said this is a unique solution. It is a one-of-a-kind solution. It's one of those areas where if you want to be in the forefront of really making a difference in your clients' lives, HomeZada is one of those tools that can help you do that.
I agree.
And the whole thing is useful.
So I think this is a good point if you have it readily available to show them. You gave all these great pointers, but I think one of the best things is the branding when they get an email. If you could share that, I think that would be excellent, because that's proof in the pudding how you're keeping top of mind awareness.
Yes, let's do that. So I'm going to share those screens for you again. Let's do this. So, Augie, can you see my screen?
Can.
Okay, perfect. So let me enlarge this. As you can see here, here is where you can see the branding. Okay, this is just a unique example, a generic example of a customer where they can showcase their branding, their logo. If they want to choose to add their photos, they can also do that in this system. Some companies want to add photos, some people do not. It depends on the type of company and the type of individual that's a member of that company. The other thing you can include is a website link, a phone number, any social media icons, and then a specific email that you may want people to contact you from, because all of these links are active. They will work and take you directly to the partner. So that's also a good thing, because if the customer wants to reconnect with the partner, they can, one, share that information for more referrals with other people they know in their network, or two, they can reconnect immediately for net new business.
Yeah.
Because they have the contact information right there. And by the way, the professional, as long as they use HomeZada Professional, can always make updates to this. So let's face it, some people may change an email address, or they may change a phone number. They can easily make the updates, and it will update with everyone in their system that they've been working with, as long as they're inside HomeZada.
And that's excellent. I saw that part of it, and I do use my photo because I just feel like that's part of people remembering me, even though my name is pretty unique. But I just think this is huge, because it's not like they saw this one time in the intro. Isn't every email then branded with this that is sent?
Great segue. Yes, it is. You can see that the information is on the desktop and the mobile. It's the same, but it's also in the emails. So one of the things that we do is, I'm going to start on the right-hand side. We have this email that comes out once a month, and it's basically a recap or a status report of what's happening inside this individual's personal HomeZada account. And this is actually a long email, so I had to cut it and put it in two sections. But you can see we talk about the finances, the inventory, the maintenance, the projects, but we bring in specific parameters to help re-engage the customer with the system, but not to overload them. It's really important that we have balance with our customers in the quantity of emails that come out of HomeZada, because one of the things we want to be is a valuable tool, not an annoying tool.
Right.
And there's enough of those annoying things that happen. We really want to provide that value. The other email on the left-hand side that you see here, this is an email with forthcoming tasks. These tasks are due in the next week. These are maintenance tasks. These are really important. They're time sensitive, and we want to make sure that these emails are sent so that the homeowner can stay on top of this. In addition to this, we have notifications that go into the desktop or in the mobile phone. But one of the things that's also valuable with these emails is you can see that the logo information is still included in the email. So it makes it still easy for the partner to be, one, remembered and recognized, so brand recognition. Two, to potentially be contacted for future business. So that's net new business or recurring business, depending on how you review it in your business. And then three, it's also extremely valuable because those individuals now know who you are, your customers. They can share your contact information with their colleagues and friends who may need your services. So that's net new business.
I just think it's a no-brainer for, like, it is just has so, you know, your conversation with people after a transaction closes becomes very limited. What are you going to talk about? The comps of the neighborhood? I mean, yes, they care about that, but it's how many times can you talk to them about that, where this is just, you're talking, last week we talked about the homeowner journey. You're always in the loop of the homeowner journey because this is transpiring. And I just think that's really incredible. One of the other things that Beth and I talked about that I want to share a little bit, I think it's really important that this is such a great gift for any professional associated that is working with a home buyer in some way, whether you're a lender, a realtor like I am, an insurance agent. When you gift this to somebody, I'm recommending that you have a system put in place as to when you give it to them. Beth and I were talking about, if you give it to them prematurely when you're so excited to give it to them, that you send them an email after they close. These people are up to their eyeballs in trying to unpack their home, get into it. So that might not be the best time. Would you agree, Beth?
Early on, they might be overwhelmed.
So, I mean, this is just a rule of thumb. I'm thinking 30 days after they move in, then present it to them and go, hopefully you're getting settled from the day you move in, start preserving your home value. And then you can introduce this and then have a system where you can, you can do it through a CRM, you can do it through your calendar, a way to contact them continuously about how are you liking it? Or do it just is a great conversation because everyone gets tasks constantly about taking care of their home. Did anything come up that you weren't aware of? I mean, there's just endless conversations, right?
Yes, endless.
So I really think not only do you want to give this to them, but have a planned system in place so that you're following up and it's easy to do. It's just so easy to do.
And one of the things you described is a version of a physical nurture campaign rather than an email nurture campaign. This is you having a call campaign with your customers or a text campaign. Maybe you could do it that way.
Right.
And you're just staying connected with them.
That's
and
right.
You're doing it in a less, let's say, salesy and less annoying way potentially. And you can manage it out in phases where you don't feel like you're overwhelming your customers.
That's right. And since you are staying connected to them, and I really do care. I do care about your house. What if you want to sell it? I want it to be in tip-top condition. I have sold somebody their home and then sold that home. It happened. Okay. It happens. So you really, the more you help them keep it in tip-top shape, A, their expenses will be less, and B, they'll have peace of mind. I think that's priceless, the peace of mind part.
Yes. So I have a question for you, Augie, though. I have a question for you, because you talk about preserving the home value and the property itself. When your customers come to you and maybe they've missed maintenance and it requires more before they can sell the house, is it very frustrating for them?
Extremely. It's frustrating for them, and it's disappointing because here's the thing, most people don't get their home inspected in any way unless they're going to sell it. If they're not prepared for some of the costs that are involved, they had no idea that this thing was a problem. They had no idea the foundation was eroding because they didn't have gutters. I mean, you know, now I'm the bearer of bad news, as you well know.
Yeah.
I do a move-in certified program, which recommends, I can't force anybody, I always recommend that the seller get the inspection up front. I want to know what's wrong with that house early on. And let me tell you, I've said this before, but I'm gonna reiterate it, is I have not gone into a home where they went, this home is perfect, there's nothing wrong. It's deferred maintenance, deferred maintenance, deferred maintenance has caused an issue with your AC, your something or your something. And everyone is kind of taken aback because they weren't prepared for cost to be associated to selling their property.
Yeah.
Had they maintained it all along, they may still have a problem, but now you adjust for price, we disclose everything, they know it, you know. So the more they take care of their home from the maintenance aspect of it, the better it is. And then the whole, because that's one segment of HomeZada. Because you're saying, hey, are you going to do any home projects? You're going to do any renovations? You planning any renovations? You know? And then there's a hurricane coming. I mean, if you know you have a hurricane coming, in my CRM, I can tag everybody that I gave HomeZada to and send them an email and say,
yes,
if your stuff in your house is an inventory it now. The hurricane is on its way.
At least take the quick videos.
That's what I'm saying. Take a quick video, because, you know, in our case, like, you may not know that an earthquake is coming or a fire is coming. We know in advance, really pretty well advanced, that there's a hurricane imminent, and you don't know which way it's going to turn. But that's a great motivator for people to go, whoop, if it comes this way, I've got all my stuff done. Correct. And now you got that chore done that you were dreading to do or not making time to do.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah. So I just think that for the professional to be thinking along these lines of the great conversations they can have, and it's so affordable. We're putting that in the description, the cost, because sometimes that changes or there's differences depending on who you are. So that information will link you. I have a link to how you sign up for the pro version. And if you happen to be a homeowner watching this, or you want to be a homeowner, you can be a pro. I recommend, if you're going to give this as a gift, to use it yourself.
Oh, yes.
Because if you own a home, you will see the value of this, and it will even be more dynamic of wanting to stay connected to your customers. So I'll have a link for the homeowner to sign up and for the professional to sign up. That will all happen in the link below.
Oh, that's perfect.
Beth, I think we've covered pretty much everything. If you could just explain what's going to be in the next episode.
Yes, absolutely. So let me look at my notes. I apologize.
That's
we've got a lot going on, which is exciting. Our next episode is about professionals, and are they looking for new and innovative ways of staying connected to their customers? And we're going to talk a little bit more about HomeZada as an option, but also just understanding new techniques and processes, especially like the one we just described in this session, on how they can really be valuable beyond whatever transaction they're offering to their customers throughout their homeowner journey. Because customers do struggle through that. I know I personally have, and a lot of my partners who I've worked with didn't provide the value that I wish they would have.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, I think that wraps it up for us today. I'm so glad y'all tuned in. Beth, as always, I am getting educated and I am learning so much more. It's making me be a better realtor and giving good counsel. I really look forward to our next session. All the information you need will be in the description. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Augie Anderson, your Brevard, Florida realtor, and also a HomeZada user. See you next time, Beth.
Bye.